the composition of the Senate and high-level political posts. The biggest surprise was the change at the Ministry of Natural Resources. Mike Redun was at the Belize Biltmore Plaza and has the story of who's in and who's out.
Today, the nation was introduced to the ministers and ministers of state of the government of Belize. Most granted a seat on the stage and a cabinet appointment by virtue of a win at the polls. In the wake of elections, Prime Minister Barrow had committed to positions for the holders of all 19 U.D.P seats, and he made it formal this morning.
I will be Minister of Finance, Minister of the Public Service, Minister of Energy, and Minister of Public Utilities. My Minister of State will be the Honorable Frank Papa Mena. The Honorable Erwin Contreras now becomes the Minister of Economic Development, Petroleum, Investment, Trade, and Commerce. The Honorable Tracy Tager Panton is the Minister of State in that ministry. The Honorable Patrick Faber is the Minister of Education, including Science and Technology Education, Culture, Youth, and Sports. The Minister of State in that ministry is the Honorable Elodio Aragon Jr. The Honorable Rene Montero is the Minister of Works, Transport, and NEMO, with the Honorable Edmund Castro as the Minister of State in that ministry.
Ministers of State Mena, Tager Panton, Aragon, and Castro will all hold full ministerial sway, at least in day-to-day operations, over sections of the full portfolio. Then there were the untouchables, so to speak, all veterans in the U.D.P.
The Honorable Michael Finnegan is the standalone Minister of Housing and Urban Development. The Honorable Manuel Heredia is the standalone Minister of Tourism and Civil Aviation. The Honorable Anthony Boots Martinez is the standalone Minister of Human Development, Social Transformation, and Poverty Alleviation. The Honorable John Saldivar is the standalone Minister of National Security. The Honorable Wilfred Elrington is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Honorable Pablo Marin is the Minister of Health. Dr. Angel Campos is the Minister of State. The Honorable Hugo Pat is the full standalone Minister of Local Government, Labor, and Rural Development.
The biggest surprise of the day had to come with the announcement of the reappointment of Deputy Prime Minister Gaspar Vega, who was stripped of that infamous hotbed of corruption, the Ministry of Natural Resources.
The Honorable Gaspar Vega is being reappointed as the Deputy Prime Minister of this country. And in addition, he will be Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Forestry, the Environment, and Sustainable Development. Dr. the Honorable Omar Figueroa will be his Minister of State.
The man who takes on the hotbed is certainly no stranger to corruption. Senator Godwin Hulse will now control two of the most controversial and powerful ministries.
The Honorable Senator Godwin Hulse is Minister of Natural Resources and Immigration, with the Honorable Beverly Castillo being the Minister of State with responsibility, complete day-to-day responsibility for the Ministry of Immigration.
And to round it off, a historical first, a female Attorney General of Belize.
We are very pleased to bring in somebody from the private bar as Attorney General and in effect, Minister of Legal Affairs, and that is Attorney at Law Ms. Vanessa Retriege.
The new UDP cabinet features 12 full ministers by virtue of seats held and 1 full minister by virtue of senatorial appointment. There are 7 ministers of state who attend cabinet on an invitation-only basis. Mike Rodon for News 5.
Prime Minister Barrow also named the new